Joy, thank you for joining us to let me record a few minutes of your perspective on working with Synergip team. This is meant to help people who are thinking about working with Synergip get a better perspective.
Sure.
And so with that objective in mind, let's start with you introducing yourself and how you relate to Synergip and who you are, what do you do? Yeah.
Sure. My name is Joseph Eckstein. I'm the Director of Product Design for EHR Data. EHR Data is a relatively new company. We've been around for just under a couple of years. We're starting out, but we're moving kind of outside the normal healthcare standpoint. We're moving more into data, analytics, utilities, and we have asked Synergip for some resources to help us fill in some development and QA resources. So far we have about half of our team. So a team of, we have a little less than 15 people. And we have four of our resources are Synergip, and they are developing and testing for us, and it's working out great so far. So I'll stop on the first question.
Compare the experience you have. I mean, you have a very good local team here in Texas, and now you have a small additional team with Synergip. They are part of same one team, of course. But you were talking a little bit about the differences you observe in your local team versus your Synergip team in India. Tell us a little more. How is it different to work with that team? How does it work better or worse for that matter?
Sure. There are certainly differences. What I have seen is that the dedication and the work ethic for our Synergip resources is outstanding. We have consistently seen when extra time needs to be spent to either learn something or do research or find out something new, that the Synergip resources have done a great job doing that. The Synergip team is great at documenting so we in our agile, when we're using our change management system, where we just keep track of the work that we're doing, they're great at logging in and updating those tasks and reporting daily as far as what's been completed. So overall, I would say it's just a lot of praise in how well, outside of the actual coding, which is just like normal and boring, all of the businessy stuff of trying to make things work, it's just been very, very helpful. As a manager, trying to understand what's going on without having to annoy people with bothering them all the time. It works out great.
So you've been able to maintain a good visibility into the progress the team makes easily with even
Yeah.
in spite of the time zone and the geography differences.
Yeah, right now we have we're overlapping about 2 hours early in the morning. Some of the local team, some of the designers, some of the leadership likes to start a little extra early. So sometimes 7 or 6 in the morning. When that is the case, we certainly try to find additional time to meet with the teams. But generally speaking, from 7:30 to 9:30 our time is when we overlap, and we found that excluding at the very beginning, you might want to have some additional overlap while you're doing training, onboarding, working out any technical issues with computers or VPNs or connections or anything like that. But once that is settled, we found that a 1 to 2 hour overlap in the morning is sufficient. Time to get in our updates, time to have a few meetings to review, do some show and tells. It's working out really well.
Any challenge you find on business context understanding for this team? This team is sitting in India, completely different world out there. You guys are building a unified EHR data, kind of a US healthcare context. How difficult it is for that team far away to have good understanding of the requirements and business context?
And what we've actually been really pleased with is that a few of our resources actually had very specific skills and experience in either the industry or the US workspace. So they already, there's a fair amount of familiarity that they already have with what we're working on. So it's worked out pretty well. Not
Thank
many
you.
surprises. Sure.
I appreciate that, that perspective. And finally, putting everything together, given your experience of over a decade that you mentioned, if you were to compare helping someone think through the value delivered by a team in Fort Worth, Texas, versus a similar team sitting in Pune, India at Synergip, do you have similar value you get? I get higher value, lower value? I mean, any kind of high level assessment?
Uh, I think that will need to be determined by individuals who are making their, with their unique business needs. There are, as far as the skill sets available to you, the experience available to you, you're going to see those differences anywhere. So if you can come up with a good Synerzip team that has more experience or more of the skills, more of the background of what you're working on, and then whatever your individual costs are currently and what they could be, you can make that evaluation. For us, um, we found it valuable.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking time to let me record this video and let
Certainly.
others benefit from it. Thanks.
Sure.